Hey, welcome back. I'm Courtney and this is the Accounting Struggle, where we speak about our struggles with accounting openly and honestly. We do not run from them. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over some CPA review courses. So I wanted to go over like maybe the top 3 or the most 3 popular. Like I like to think of them as the big 3. So I'm going to go over a few and just compare like price, some of the features, because I know a lot of people are sitting for the CPA exam, and I think sometimes people default to a certain or a particular review course, but I wanted to do an overview of a few different ones just so you can have a feel for which one you should go with. So before we get started, if you are new here, welcome. Hi, I'm Courtney. If you are returning, thank you so much for being here again. It's great to see you. So yeah, so I wanted to go ahead and make this video because I know a lot of people are sitting for the CPA exam and people are now actually going back into school. I'm recording this in the end of August, so people are going back into school. So if this is like you're doing a master's program, or if this is your senior year, you're probably starting to think about or seriously think about the CPA exam. If you are planning to take it, there are several different routes you can go, but realistically, you have to have a CPA review course if you stand a real chance at actually passing the CPA exam. So a lot of jobs will sponsor your CPA review materials. Some of them have particular companies that they like to partner with that they will pay for, but if you ask, they may be willing to sponsor other review courses that are not necessarily one of their partners. So of course you always want to try and go the paid route first. If you can get a company that you're going to be working for to pay for it, obviously that's the best bet, but cost does play a huge factor in which one you decide to go with. So let's go ahead and get into which 3 I think are like the main 3, and I'll just give you a little bit of information on each one. So first there's Surgent. So Surgent CPA review course is going to have 3 different packages that you can go with, and they range in price from $15.99 to $29.99. Ooh, so maybe I should pull over here and let you know, in case you didn't already know, CPA review materials, not cheap. Giving very much Hermes, giving very much Chanel. They are not inexpensive materials. These are not something you can get like a Target version of. They are an investment, but worthwhile investment, because again, without the CPA review materials, your chances of actually passing a CPA exam, I think, are pretty impossible. So that being said, be prepared to gather up a few coins if you are going to pay for this out of your own pocket. But the good news is a lot of these CPA review courses now offer payment plans. So even though the prices range between $3,000, you can make payments with Affirm. So Affirm was not a thing when I was out here in these CPA streets. Unfortunately, I just had to come up with the money if I wanted to pay for it. But now with Affirm, you can make payments, so that's great. So all 3 of their passes, they have the Essentials Pass, the Premier Pass, and then the Ultimate Pass. So all 3 of them come with 77 or over 7,700 multiple choice questions. These multiple choice questions are going to mirror like what you would see on the actual exam. So they help to prepare you for the exam questions. A lot of them are retired AICPA reviewed exam questions. So these are exam questions that are very similar, if not identical, to what you will actually see when you go to take the exam. They do help you to understand why your answers are not correct. When you're going through the multiple choice questions, one of the key things you want to do is look at all of the reasons why you're getting them correct, and then all of the reasons why you're not getting them correct. So each one should have an explanation as to why it's right. Now, how well they all explain that is going to really depend on the brand. Some of them may say, you know, A and B is wrong because C is right, which is not that helpful. But just something to consider when you are studying, and I've mentioned this in other CPA videos, you want to be looking at why you're getting the answer correct so that you know you didn't just like kind of finesse your way into the right answer. So that's really key. Surgent also has over 400 simulations and about 300 or over 350 nano-sized or bite-sized lectures. The reason why I like the bite-sized lectures is because when you're studying and you're having to review long 2- and 3-hour lectures, which was definitely how it was when I started studying many moons ago, it is so hard to pay attention. So if you have smaller bite-sized lectures, you're able to get more information that is retainable and you won't forget it as fast. You'll actually be able to pay attention throughout the lecture and you'll get the information that you need for that particular section. Even though there may be more lectures this way, this is a much more effective way to study. There are also ebooks and lecture study notes for all 4 exams. So all 3 of their packages come with that. Now, if you want to go into like looking at side by side what the differences are, I'll spell out some of the main differences. So the Essentials Pass does not include any one-on-one coaching, but it has everything else that we just mentioned. The Premier Pass does come with one-on-one coaching, and it also comes with printed textbook and flashcards. If you're somebody who really likes to write things down, you like to have the physical stuff in your hands, kind of like highlight everything and it's not just all digital, then that might be a better option for you. Of course, there is a bump in price, but you get some actual tangible note-taking ability with this package. Now with the Ultimate Pass, you get all the same stuff I just mentioned for the other 2. So you get the one-on-one coaching, you get the flashcards and the printed textbook, but this one you also get extra 1,000 multiple choice questions to study with. Now realistically, do I know that you're going to go through all 7,700 of these? That's a lot of multiple choice questions. So if you have to stick with the essentials, it's not like you're cutting yourself short. That's still a very good amount of multiple choice questions to be able to pull from. But if you're like, no, I want to go through every single one, I want to be able to study this material in and out, up and down, sideways, and all of that, then you might want the Ultimate Package because it does have additional 1,000 multiple choice questions. And you can never practice those too much. So I don't know if the angle just totally changed. It's probably because my camera died and I'm now recording this on my mobile phone and my life is a joke, but we're gonna get right back into the video. The Ultimate Pass also has 8 hours of on-demand course under Surgent Excel for accounting professionals. So that's also a great add-on. And then there's audio lecture for all 4 sections. Next is UWorld Roger. So UWorld Roger is formerly known as Roger, if you are wondering if that's the same company. So this one has a lot more of an enthusiastic instructor. His name is Roger, and he brings the liveliness to the CPA exam videos. So if you're looking for someone who's not going to put you to sleep, this is probably the brand you want to go with. So UWorld Roger does have 2 packages, and then you can also buy just a section. So say you have already gone through the CPA process and you've passed all but maybe 1 section, and whatever review course you were using before is expired, and you like, girl, I just want to retake this. I am not buying the whole thing all over again. That is fine. There is an option to purchase just that 1 section. So say maybe FAR, because you know FAR is always hard to pass. So say you get to FAR, you didn't pass, and now the other one you had before those review materials have expired and you refuse to repurchase the entire thing, you just want that 1 section, it is going to cost you $3.99. So you pay $400 just for that section, or you are now starting the process from scratch and you want to purchase all 4 sections. At that point, you want to look at one of the 2 packages. So these range in price from $18.99 up to $29.99. Again, if you are looking for a payment plan option, you are able to make payments through Affirm. Again, Affirm is game changer. It is not just for buying like clothes you can't afford. It's also for things, it really should be more so for this kind of stuff. They did not have this option back in my day, so be very grateful. If you are someone who is working and living bit by bit and check by check, this is a great option for you. So there's the Premier package and then the Elite Unlimited package. So I'll go over the features of both. So with the Premier, you have 18-month access, which if you are already starting to look into this process, you know that you have 18 months to pass the CPA exam anyway. So perfectly lines up with that. This one has over 6,000 multiple choice questions, and one thing that I really like about UWorld Roger, I actually had an opportunity to demo it. This is not what I used to prepare it, but I have actually seen the software, and it was really, really good software. Very intriguing, also very triggering to have to look at CPA review materials post CPA process. Whew, took me to a dark place, but I digress. So some standout features for me when it came to UWorld Rogers were like the revolutionary multiple choice questions. So their test bank, they make sure, like I was saying before, it's really important to understand when you get an answer correct, you want an in-depth understanding of why was this correct? Did I just guess? Or did I get lucky? And then when you get something wrong, you want to understand not only why that answer was wrong, but why the other 3 choices, because there's usually 4, why were those wrong? And then why was this one correct? So like I said, there are some review courses that don't really do a great job at explaining why an answer is correct or incorrect, but with UWorld Roger, they really do a deep dive and give you a great explanation. They use kind of like a visual explanation to help you understand why your answer is correct and why the others are incorrect. If you are a visual learner, this would probably be software that would be great for you, because there's charts, there's illustrations, there's graphs. I'm kind of a picture kind of girl. I need all of that. I need to take notes, I need to highlight, I need pictures, charts, graphs. Give me everything so that I can understand why am I not supposed to depreciate land. I'm kidding, I would never depreciate land. I think the other most notable thing about UWorld Roger is Roger himself. The instructor's name is Roger Phillip. He's a CPA and a CGMA, and he actually has a lot of enthusiasm in his videos. Like if you were about to fall asleep, as soon as his video come on, like boom, you're up. You're not gonna listen. I sat through 3 years of review materials using another program, and it gave me very much water casserole. It gave me very much C-SPAN energy, like very dry, very boring, not exciting. And I get it, it is accounting, so it's not gonna be but so compelling, but it helps if someone tries to bring a little extra flavor, and that's what Roger does. So if you are someone who needs lecture and you really like to have somebody that's gonna keep you up or keep you interested, then this might be a great option for you. So another thing that I noticed about this program is that they used what is called spaced recognition technology with their flashcards. So in the flashcards, you can mark it a question as either difficult or easy. If you're kind of like me, now this is something I think happens naturally, like in the unsubconscious part of our brains. We want to feel good about ourselves. We want to feel like we're killing it. So we kind of just do the stuff we know how to do and we feel confident about, but that's not really going to help you prepare for the CPA exam. If you are struggling with a particular topic, you need to see more of that. So if you mark cards as difficult, they will pull more cards from that same subject matter so that you can continue to see it until you really understand it. So they use a technology that allows you to be able to do that rather than you having to kind of just sift through or highlight and say, dang, I'm really not seeming to like understand bonds and I'm really struggling with that. This kind of takes the guesswork out of it, so it makes it a lot easier for you to be able to see what you need to see so that you can get better in the areas where you're weak. So with UWorld Roger, you can either purchase a particular section that you need. If you do that, you only have a 6-month access, and that one does not have an affirm option. You gotta just buy it. It's just one little section though, you'll be fine. So with the Premier package, you have 18 months, and then with the Elite Unlimited package, you have unlimited time. They all come with over 6,000 multiple choice questions. This also has hundreds of task-based simulations, and there are customizable quizzes and tests. All 3 packages come with that, whether it's just that one section or you buy one of the actual packages. So the biggest difference with the Elite Unlimited is really the unlimited. You have as much time as you need to pass. So if you're like me and this becomes a 3-year journey, first of all, I'm praying for you, because that I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But it took me 3 years, so I went through 2 of the same review courses. We'll get to that in a minute, but I went through the same one twice, and it took me a total of 3 years, and most of them expire usually at around 18-month mark. So if this becomes a longer journey for you and you're planning to space it out, you think you're going to take a couple of years, don't think that's a good plan, but you know, that's neither here nor there. You do have that option of having the unlimited, because that allows you to take as much time as you need until you finish all of the sections. You also get a 4-part cram course with this package. In your digital flashcards, you get an expert deck. So that also uses the spaced repetition technology that we spoke about earlier. And you get printed course textbooks. Printed textbooks, of course, you have to be careful when they are printed. you want to make sure they're as up to date as possible. The most recent update with UWorld Roger was in July, so they were updated for July changes. But you know, as tax law change, as accounting changes roll out, they do have to update the printed materials, whereas ebooks, they're updated automatically. So UWorld Roger in overall is a fantastic course, a fantastic review course, if that's one that you want to look into. The next one that I want to go over is Becker. Now, I know I could not make a CPA review course video without mentioning Becker. So Becker is very notable. Like, most firms will just pay for Becker. That's the ones they will partner with. When I was in college, I was a Becker ambassador. So I was able to get the review course materials for free, and I used them for 18 months, still was not done and had to start over from scratch. But fortunately, I still did not have to pay because my firm paid for it. They will pay for it at least once. So most firms will say, hey, we'll pay for your study review courses, we use Becker. That doesn't mean you have to use Becker. Just ask them, hey, well, I saw Surgent and I really like that, or hey, I saw UWorld Roger and I really like that, can I get that? If it's less expensive, they might be willing to do it. Just something to look into. So what you should know is Becker is definitely the most expensive. So if we were comparing the three of these in terms of price, UWorld Roger and Surgent would probably be more like a Louis Vuitton handbag, and then Becker would be probably like an Hermes Kelly bag. Not quite a Birkin, but still very, very, very expensive. So their prices do range up to $3,500 for the biggest package, and the starting package is $23.99. So they have Advantage, Premium, and Pro. All three do have the Flex Pay option, which is, again, like, I can't speak enough to how much of an impact that could have had on my life and my credit card balance had I had that option back in my day. But you know, here we are. Use that option if it is something that you're overwhelmed by the price and you're like, well, can I make payments? Yes, you can. So don't be too discouraged by the price. The price is the most expensive with Becker, but they also have the most material. So Becker has over 9,200 multiple choice questions, so more than the other girls. They do have quite a few multiple choice questions. You will not get used to seeing the same question over and over again. And what I can say from personal experience, having used Becker, the questions are identical to what you will see on the exam. They look the same, they use the same wording, like they're the exact same. The questions are literally copy paste word for word with many of them. So that is something that you should be very comfortable on exam day, navigating through all of the material, because it is set up to look exactly like the real exam. So the Advantage is the least expensive option that you can go with, which is the $23.99, but that one has 24-month access, so it could take you up to 2 years to complete this. That's great because it used to be 18 months, and like I said before, I think mine had actually expired at the 18-month mark, and that was like a month before my last exam, or what I thought was going to be my last exam, but I ended up failing and starting over. But you know, different story for a different day. Either way, they've extended the time you have now. So with that package, you get up to 24 months to do all of the study review material. So if you're like, okay, boom, I'm knocking this out in 12 months, I don't need more time than that. If you feel super confident about that, would probably be the best package for you to go with, because you have 2 years. The other two are unlimited, which is amazing. You don't want to have the added pressure of like running out of time. So they do have a mobile app, which I used to use all the time. I would go on my lunch break and I would study in the cafeteria on my phone or on my tablet, which was super helpful. There's over 1,250 digital flashcards. That's really nice because they used to, again, I had them in hard copy. God, I'm starting to sound so archaic, but I had the hard copy of the flashcards, and they get dated. Like, any printed materials are going to get dated really fast, especially if we're talking about studying over the course of a couple of years, because these accounting changes do roll out really quickly. Each package has a 4-part review, so it's going to cover all 4 parts of the CPA exam. They have printed and annotated digital textbooks. I really found the pre-annotated textbook thing to be super helpful when I was studying for the exam, because I had the printed textbook and then I would look at the pre-annotated textbook and I would go through and make all of my annotations first, underline everything, highlight everything, make all the annotations. So when I was listening to the lecture and they would be saying things like underscore that and highlight this, and it was already done. So I could just listen. I could just focus on what they were saying and not be like, hold on, let me catch up. I need to highlight this. And that was something that I really remember as being very helpful. So having that pre-annotated digital textbook available to you, that is with all 3 packages that you go with, and that is really helpful. So after you sit through the lecture, there's like a little skill master video, which is kind of just a recap of everything that was in the lecture, and then you go through and you take the multiple choice questions. You don't have to do it in that order. I always say go straight to the multiple choice questions, just so you can get a flavor for what that chapter is really getting to, or what that section is really focused on, and then go back if you need the extra help. But the skill master videos are short, and there are so many of them, and it's really great bite-sized information to help you kind of get through your study materials. There is unlimited practice tests, and there's a study planner. The study planner is to help keep you on track. You can of course make changes, but you would put in what your key or your target exam date is, and that will tell you every time you log in, you're gonna see like, warning, you're not where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be on, you know, F5 by now, and you're only on F3. So that will kind of keep you on track so that you're not falling behind in your study materials. If you go with the Pro package, you automatically get over 1,250 multiple choice, or excuse me, you automatically get the flashcards in print as well. So you'll still have the digital access because that comes with it, but you'll also have them in print, which again, if you're a person who likes to be able to write things down and have the actual printed off book and all that stuff in front of you, then that's probably going to be the one that you're going to want to go with. Another cool feature of going with the Pro package is you'll have access to a CPA exam success coach. I didn't have that. That's probably why I did not have success. That is very helpful to have a coach, someone who has actually been through the process, to be able to have that one-on-one time. And that was something that was mentioned with the other products as well. With UWorld Roger and with Becker, they also have options where you can have like more of a one-on-one thing. If you have the option and you have the coin to be able to take advantage of that, that's definitely something that I think is worthwhile, to be able to reach out to someone. Because I felt like with a lot of the questions when I was going through the process, there would be questions where I'm like, I don't get it, but I'm gonna just have to pray over it and just hope for the best. And that didn't work out that well for me. So I probably could have saved a lot of time if I had a coach that I could get to the other side of like best ways to study, best practices, things to avoid, things to look out for. That's some of the stuff that I feel like would have been really helpful. So if you have the option to take advantage of that, definitely do so. You also get the final review with this. So the final review is kind of like a condensed version of the entire book. So it takes the key features, the things that are like super duper important, key concepts that are like the difference between passing and failing in most cases. I did not use the final review course because it wasn't something that was offered with the free plan that my job was paying for, and I wasn't gonna come out of pocket for it. But I do know one of my friends used it and she found success with it. She found it to be very helpful. So I know a lot of people do like the final review. It's kind of like after you've gone through all of the study materials and you are maybe like a few weeks out from your exam and you just want to kind of hone in on a review real quick, go over some of the key concepts, this is for that. And you do get that with the Pro package. You also get an additional 900 multiple choice questions. So if the 9,200 multiple choice questions were not enough for you, with the Pro package, you do get an additional like 900 multiple choice questions to choose from. So there are some other features that are bonus features between the Pro, the Premium, and the Advantage. I'll link everything in the description box so you can kind of go through these side by side and look at them yourself, but those are some of the ones that I wanted to point out. So what do I think, like opinion wise, on each of these? I'll just go through really quickly and say what I have heard about some of them, because I have not used them all. I only used Becker, and then with the others I can kind of speak to what I've seen with them. So Becker does have a very high pass rate. And it is, again, it's very popular. It's been around 4 years. It's not fail proof though. One thing that I feel like a lot of people go with is, oh, well, if it's the most expensive one and it's the one that's backed by all the CPA firms, I'm gonna go with that because, you know, I want to pass. It's not fail proof. I failed multiple times using it, but it is great in that it looks exactly like the exam. There were no surprises on the day of the exam. Like literally the calculator, like everything looked exactly the same. The multiple choice questions were the same. And I would even think it might be fair to say that Becker materials, when it comes to some of the simulations, I feel like Becker might have been a little bit harder than the actual exam, which is good. It really tests your knowledge and it really helps you to get prepared. One of the cons, or one of the criticisms that I have for Becker would be, I feel like the instructors didn't really give the girls a whole lot to work with. There was a lot that was left to be desired, and I got to know them for a very long time. There's Tim Garrity, and then there's Peter Olento. They have some cute banter back and forth, but it just wasn't like very compelling and very exciting material to watch. Again, I get it, we're talking about leases and bonds. It's not going to be as juicy as maybe watching, you know, reality television. However, as compared to something like a UWorld Roger, I feel like Becker is very boring if you are a lecture person and you're going to sit through a lot of the lecture material. If you don't plan to sit through it, then it doesn't really matter that much, but that would be one of my bigger criticisms. Mike Brown, and I don't remember his wife's name, forgive me, I want to say it might have been Shannon Brown. She covered, I think, the economics section. Again, it did give me very much dull, but they do a great job at covering the material. So Mike Brown, even though he was not someone who kept me on the edge of my seat, he did a great job at explaining the materials. And that's one thing that I felt like was important. So if you're looking for somebody who is just gonna get straight to the point and give you what you need, then yes, you'll get that with Becker. Again, I do think that it is very expensive, but I mean, they hold up and they live up to their reputation. So overall, I think Becker is a fantastic review course. I do think that it is a little expensive though. So if price is a factor for you, then I don't necessarily know that you have to go with Becker. I mean, it is $3,500. So with that being said, if you're not paying for it, I would go with Becker. You know, if that's what your office is willing to pay for and they're not willing to pay for anything else, certainly don't go buy something. And I feel that way with any of them. If they're gonna give you any review course for free, probably should take that, unless money is of no object to you. That was certainly not my story. With UWorld Roger, I really like the technology that they use. I felt like it was very cutting edge. They have a very enthusiastic instructor. They keep you on your toes. But again, I didn't prepare using that. I used Becker, and I mean, I did have to take it over a few times, but I do feel like they did a great job at mirroring what the exam looks like. And from what I could see in the demo that I did with UWorld Roger, they do the same thing. They make sure that it looks just like the exam. A lot of the questions are worded the same way as well. And when it comes to Surgent, I feel like Surgent is a great bang for your buck. I mean, it is a little bit expensive still. None of these are cheap. With Surgent, I feel like they do a great job at covering the materials. I don't know what the lecture style is like or what that looks like. I can't speak to the level of enthusiasm that the instructors have because I have never seen any of their videos. But I do know people who have used Surgent and they've done just fine. They've been able to pass on the first try. So what I would do if you're trying to decide which one is right for you, it's really going to come down to what is the biggest factor. If the determining factor is cost, go with the one that's the least expensive. If the determining factor is learning according to your style, go with the one that's going to have all of the mechanisms that are going to work for you. If you're more of a visual learner, then UWorld Roger is probably better. If you're more straightforward, let's just get to the point, let's get to the material, Becker might be better for you. So it really just depends on what you're looking for and what is most important to you. If you are like, I don't know, I don't care, I just want what's free, go with whatever your job is paying for. So I hope that this helps to give you an overview of what these three look like. Of course, there are many more CPA review courses, but this is just to give you an idea. A lot of people will use whatever their job gives them, and then they'll have supplemental materials from some other company. I didn't do that, but again, I took it over the course of 3 years. So maybe do what feels right for you. If you need additional guidance, additional help, additional study materials, certainly don't be shy. If you have the money to spend to invest in additional materials, go for it. Anyway, I hope that you found this video to be helpful. If you did, be sure and leave it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And again, I will leave all of the information that I have in the description box. There are a ton of discount codes and things that are available online for a lot of these. So I will leave whatever I'm able to find in the description box. So be sure to check there if you want more information on any of these 3 review courses. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions, if you are on your CPA journey. God bless. so glad it is you and not me. But do stay encouraged because it will pay off. It will be totally worth it one day. So anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.